It's the new era of man for some old school fans with a new school brand. We got Blaine on the mic with the plan in hand. It's that Pat to his left, they go hand in hand. And to the right, we got Sister, he putting it down. It's the Profanity Nation, we running the town here.
It's the
Profanity Nation.
Welcome to the Profanity Nation podcast, where we are the voice of the professional fan. And boy, do we have a big show for you today. And that is no joke, that's for sure. As usual, I'm joined here by my co-host, Money Mike. How you feeling?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm a little bummed about the Celtics winning because I'm a Laker fan. But I'm excited that we got Kareem. Solomon Hughes.
We've got Solomon Hughes on.
He played so well. He really was Kareem.
Oh, man, he made me believe. We have a guest co-host tonight. Stat Pat couldn't be with us. So, of course, we have Fredo Cervantes.
Yes, sir.
Of the Monday Night Fredo show, by the way. How you doing, Fredo?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's a Sunday night. It's a holiday weekend. And, of course, it can't get any better having Solomon on the show tonight. So
that's amazing, right? That's amazing. Okay, we've got Solomon ready to go. But as usual, we start with a really quick segment with our boy Marco Nunez, who's ready and just waiting there. Let's go ahead and bring Marco on. Marco, how are you doing these days?
Doing well. How's everybody doing? Happy Memorial Day weekend.
We're doing good. We're going to change. There we go. Money Mike, please, really quick.
Yeah, so real quick, man. Look, we got to figure out how to beat these Celtics because we can't allow them to get to 18. So my biggest concern is GP2. He fractured his elbow on May 3rd. Mm-hmm. It is May 30th.
Yep.
They're saying that the 2nd of June is when the finals are going to start. Reports are that they think that he will be able to suit up by game 1. Is that real quick? Because I thought when you fracture something, it's normally around 6 weeks. We're right around 4. You think how well do you think that fractured elbow has healed?
Yeah, so a general fracture, a clean fracture, as they say, it can take anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks up to 8 weeks to heal. Now, that's the general public. When you go see the doctor, they put you in a cast and they wait. You come back, 3 weeks later, they do another x-ray, see if it's healing or not. They put you back in the cast again for another 2-3 weeks. So it varies type of thing. But we're talking about professional athletes, and obviously sometimes the rules kind of don't apply or the procedures don't quite apply to the general public. So most likely what they probably did in this case, just like what they did with Rondo and all the other players, same thing with LaMelo back with Charlotte, is that they will go ahead and put some form of plate in there to secure the bone and make sure that the bones are touching each other and they're healing a lot quicker. Now, once they put that plate in there, that bone is way stronger than any other bone in his body, and it's least likely to fracture again. When that does happen, and when they do that procedure, an athlete can come back as early as 4 weeks if it's a non-weight-bearing bone, meaning if it's not on your foot, if it's nothing like that, it's something in this elbow, most likely is going to come back with the knee. You'll see him with like a knee elbow pad or something like that, just to kind of protect that area. So yes, it is very possible that after 4 weeks, if they did that procedure, there's a very good chance he can come back after 4 weeks.
And do you think what's his playing percentage? Back 100%?
Well, yeah. Well, the other thing you also got to consider is if it's a shooting hand or non-shooting hand type of thing. Okay, that may kind of linger a little bit. Can he come back as early as game 1? Possibly. Is he going to be in game shape type of thing? Conditioning. How much soreness he's going to be able to play? Are they going to monitor his minutes? How effective he's going to be? How much shooting is he going to be involved? Is he going to be more like a decoy, maybe rebounder type of thing, or a passer type of thing? That might be a possibility for like the first 2 games until he kind of gets his rhythm type of thing. But like I said, it's a finals. It's a young kid. When's the last time he played in the finals? I mean, he's not going to want to miss it. He's going to want to be out there basically.
Yeah, I mean, listen, game shape, that shouldn't be a problem because he's
a fighter.
There's nothing wrong with his legs.
He's finals.
So this dude should have been doing some suicides or something every day, right? Stay in shape. I mean, that had nothing to do with his conditioning
but here's the thing about that. There's the regular conditioning that you're talking about. Yes, he should have been able to already run the treadmill. He should have been doing your typical suicides, all that stuff. As far as his condition, is one thing. But when you get in a game situation, that's different than just running laps up and down the court type of thing. Even if you scrimmage with your own teammates, that's still slightly different than when you actually play a game against an opponent type of thing. So yeah, it might take him 1 or 2 games to kind of get back into rhythm. The sooner, the quicker, more benefit for the Golden State Warriors, and decreases the chance of the Boston Celtics winning another championship.
Well, the benefit
that's the goal.
is he's not a 1, 2, or 3 option there. So he has time and nobody's really looking out for him. Sorry to cut this short, Marco. We've got an amazing guest waiting on hold. Thank you so much. Please let everybody know the best way to keep up to date with what you've got going on.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions regarding injuries, sports recovery, nutrition, strength and conditioning, please feel free to DM me on my Instagram at Marco A. 17, or please follow my YouTube channel at Evolve Athletic Performance.
Thank you so much,
Awesome,
Marco. We
We'll
appreciate
see you next
it.
week.
Adios.
Lost him just in time. Okay,
There
with
it
no
is.
further ado, I'm sorry. I was really excited. I didn't mean to
Man,
cut
I am
Marco
too.
short, but we've been waiting for this one. So let's go ahead and bring him on right now. Let's go ahead and bring on Solomon Hughes, Dr. Solomon Hughes. Let's bring him on.
He's a real doctor. That's what
He is a
you
real
know what I mean? Like,
you
you know, these people nowadays, man, they get this speak and they don't even have they just got a high school diploma, then they get a doctorate degree to go speak. You know what I'm saying? You were in the work. You went to the you got a BA, you got an MA, and then you got the doctorate, right?
That's right. Yeah, I did my PhD at the University of Georgia. That's correct.
Yeah. So I
awesome.
appreciate your actual
hard work.
hard work.
I don't know how else it's done.
Man, I
but,
mean, listen, they ask you, you get famous, and they ask you to speak at a graduation.
He's ready. Oh yeah, no doubt. So again, no further ado, but let's go ahead and introduce properly. Solomon portrayed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in HBO's smash hit Winning Time, which, whether you're a Laker fan or not, it's transcended Laker fans and basketball fans, which we'll get to. It's just amazing. But honestly, it's nothing short of epic. Your epic portrayal of Kareem is just amazing. We'd love to get into how that all got started, but I'd just like to give some roses first. We're old enough to remember the end of the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, playing days before he retired, and then after that. You introduce Kareem now to a whole new generation to respect and admire, and you did such a wonderful job. Tell us, I know there was a lot that went into this and you had some time, but tell us how this all came about for you, please.
Sure. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for that introduction. I'm excited to have a conversation with you guys, and obviously love hearing any positive feedback to what we worked on this last year. But yeah, so I tell people that growing up in Southern California, I think I was like a lot of people, and definitely wondered about what it would be like to be in the entertainment space, to be an actor or an artist. And I went as far as, after graduating from college, going down to LA and meeting with a talent agent and really kind of exploring to see if there were any opportunities. And nothing really came my way, but it's a space, just because of the impact that like film and TV and theater have had on me personally. I've always wondered about it, right? And I've watched a ton of movies, huge fan. And so the way it worked out was they were doing a search for Kareem, essentially a global wide search for someone to play Kareem. They reached out to a former college teammate of mine, Francisco Elson, who played with the Nuggets and played with the Spurs, actually won an NBA championship with the Spurs. And we were actually roommates at UC Berkeley. Francisco, who lives in the Netherlands, wasn't interested, but suggested me. And essentially that casting agent reached out to me. I did the first audition. They liked it, and then flew me down for a second audition down in LA in front of the executive producers and the casting directors. And I found out a week later, that I got the job, and really it was just off to the races then. And then, as you know, we shot the pilot, and then COVID happened, so everything essentially was put on hold for a year. So yeah.
Do you think that? I'm sure you were prepared, right? So going into that, but did that extra year give you even more time? I mean, I'm sure you worked on it, but do you feel that actually helped in your performance?
Oh yeah, I definitely am a firm believer that time helps everything, right? So I feel like I really, I grew up in SoCal, so I was already a fan of Kareem's. His book Giant Steps was one of the first big books that I read as a kid, and so I was very familiar with him. But I think I feel like we're in this information age. You can go down so many wormholes, right, or rabbit holes in terms of like learning about not only Kareem, but just the ecosystem that he grew up in, right? Harlem, learning about his parents' background, etc. Just the history of basketball, the history of sports activism, et cetera. And so I feel like I definitely feel like I benefited from that additional time to really kind of connect with just all of the facets of who he is as a person, right? Because obviously we know he's so much more than just a basketball player, right?
Oh yeah.
He's an author, he's an activist, et cetera. And so it was like I got ample time to do even more research.
Well, look, I know you played some college ball over at Berkeley, if I'm
Right.
correct, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let me ask you, how many hood shots did you do when you played ball?
Well, so in addition to having more time to kind of just research the character, I mean, I was shooting hook shots every single day. And so when I played in college, and I played a few years after college, I shot a jump hook, which is you jump off 2 feet essentially.
Right.
It does not look as elegant as a sky hook at all. But so yeah, really kind of transitioning to going off 1 foot, really working on trying to really kind of capture the essence of what he does. So I mean, essentially I tell people there were really no days off, except when my knees started hurting because I'm 43, so I'm much older than a lot of the guys that are in the cast, and so I really had to pay attention to my body as I was preparing. So.
Yeah. So for the record, you had 0 hood shots. You played for 4 years, all 4 years of college. You did 0 hood shots.
Yeah,
You
was
did a 4
And you ended
year
up playing Kareem.
you did a 4 year of just hood shots, right?
Right,
And no
exactly,
jump shots.
exactly. Right,
That's
exactly.
amazing. Because the thing about it for me is like I've actually have met Kareem a couple times,
Yeah.
and he's a really, how do you say it? Magic is way more friendlier. Let's
Sure,
you know what I mean? Like I can sit around and
well, again, if you watched Winning Time and you saw Solomon's performance, and you know exactly
right. And let me compliment you again, because you really pulled out that like, yeah, that's the Kareem I met. When I'm watching him, I've interacted, and I had one interaction where he ignored me like 100%, and then that other interaction where he was in a better mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
right,
I've had
right.
two sides, and
Sure,
literally,
sure.
I'm telling you, man, the work that you did on there, you hit him to the T. So that was amazing.
Man, thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey, Solomon, myself, Fredo Cervantes here. I just wanted to kind of, first of all, let you know you did an amazing, incredible job in the whole HBO series here on Winning Time. I'm pretty sure that's how everyone felt. But knowing yourself and knowing how you kind of came into this role, like you said, a friend kind of told you about the role, kind of, the agency got a hold of you. Did you really want to step into that situation and, portraying someone like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Did you have that pressure on, or were you just like, no, I'm going to take this?
Oh, no, I mean, I feel like it was so when I saw that it was an Adam McKay project, I'm an enormous Adam McKay fan. And I tell people, if someone had offered me a job to serve coffee on a set of an Adam McKay project, I'm like, sign me up. Yes. So like, I mean, there was no doubt about it, but it was one of those things where I was very excited, but also for sure pressure. I mean, you're talking about someone who's still living, right? I mean, still is very vocal, right? Has a voice, has a platform. And so, and then, when you think about that franchise, right? And the Magics, the Jerry Busses, et cetera. I mean, the whole franchise, what they did for sports, right? I mean, I feel like the 80s it's a decade that really doesn't get enough attention, I think. And so I feel like, obviously it's dramatized, right? So we're not trying to get everything particularly specific to like what actually happened, but it's I think it's like a time machine back to a time in America that really where a lot of really pivotal things happened that impact the way we look at sports now, the way maybe we think about politics, the way we think about the world, et cetera. I mean, when I think of some of my first memories watching the Lakers, I tell people as a really, really young kid, the way the Forum Court looked, it looked like a golden dance floor. And you see this show that people are just going crazy over. And so, I feel like that was like really my first interaction with sport. And obviously, I mean, when you look at how the game has grown now, I mean, where it's global and these people are recognized all over the world, I feel like you definitely feel pressure to want to make sure that you're doing it justice, doing that era justice.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you definitely did that. I'm really curious. I mean, obviously, like you said, you've read Kareem's books. You've
Yeah.
done that type of research, at least the book
Mhm.
study, but the mannerisms, his
Yeah.
character, where
Yeah.
did you, where did you get, was it tape? Was it people how did you acquire that?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I also I think what's fascinating about the world that we live in, right? I mean, we're in the YouTube era, and I got really good at changing up the search terms in YouTube to find a bunch of footage of Kareem giving interviews when he was with the Bucks, giving interviews when his early years with the Lakers, etc. There's some really really cool like archival footage of some of his interviews. And but then with that, right? I mean, there's the balance, right, between just mimicking what you're seeing and also kind of creating your own version of this character as you're telling the story. So there's like, I really wanted to kind of capture the balance of capturing some of the nuances, but also kind of bringing my own artistic ideas to it. But ultimately, what I really enjoyed doing was I feel like when he walks onto the court, right? When you look at the footage of the games like in the '80s, the way he walks on the court, he's so cool and he's so like sure of himself. I feel like that was
So
that
in
was a lot of
control.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
in
Exactly.
control of
Yeah.
everything and everyone
Right.
around him. Absolutely.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so you're a couple years behind me. So
Mhm.
I'm assuming that you enjoyed the Showtime era as with a 7 or 8 year old kid.
For
You know,
sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and
I think go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say, yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like I think like it was. I think I really remember the first series with the Celtics. That was when I really it kind of clicked that
Yeah.
like the Lakers kind of became my organization, my team.
Right.
And so yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. And then and then after that era, the I like Nick Van Exel. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
the arc of time, the Nick Van Exels, and then obviously Shaq, Kobe, etc.
Eddie
Now
Jones.
LeBron, Eddie Jones. That's right, Eddie
Eddie
Jones.
Jones. We all
Absolutely.
loved Eddie Jones. Those were
Yeah.
the lean
Yeah.
years, but we loved our Eddie Jones and,
Yeah.
and Exel.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. We were trying to
Yeah.
hold on to something, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. How special is it that growing up in SoCal, Laker fan got to
Man.
play Kareem? I mean,
Right. Yeah. It's I feel like I've overused the word surreal, but really I can't think of anything else to say. There's no other way to articulate it. It's just wild, man. It's just yeah, the organization that I grew up admiring, the players that I grew up admiring, and then for it to come as part of like one of Adam McKay's projects, somebody like a producer who I just have so much admiration for. So it's wild, man. It was a lot of fun, and we're obviously really looking forward to getting back to filming season 2 shortly.
Yeah, you know what I think though is like I think of it of it being like such a blessing too because this is like what one of your first major roles, right?
Right. It is.
So
Yeah.
you
First.
amazing.
yeah, so the fact that you literally got in and here's the thing, and Simpson's girlfriend wasn't not really a basketball fan, right?
Yeah.
But she loved watching what was on screen,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's one thing like we watch, we're obviously a sports podcast, so we
Yeah.
look at it with a different lens because I need to see if Magic is acting like Magic, is Kareem acting like Kareem. But when I have my wife at home and when he has his girlfriend and they're watching it and they're enjoying the show for what it is, and they don't have that background,
Yeah.
Special.
that's something that's really is special
Yeah.
because people
Yeah.
are enjoying the series,
Yeah.
just by watching and seeing how it's filmed on there. You don't necessarily have to be a fan. You don't necessarily have to remember
Yeah.
that era. So that's you. I mean, again, you did a great job.
And I mean, Rodney Barnes, the writer, who did an amazing
Absolutely.
job.
Yeah.
And of course, we had Jeff Pearlman on last year, actually,
Oh wow.
while he's still filming. So we had him on
Okay.
about his book when we found
Yeah.
out that they were going to make the series. So,
Mhm.
we've been kind of watching this for a little while, but
That's cool.
the writing and, even longtime Laker fans learned things. There's stuff.
Right, man, right, for sure. Yeah, Max Bornstein and Rodney Barnes. I mean, two lead writers. Just and the research that they did. Right, that's the thing that I really love and admire about them is just how much they read, how much they consumed to really get the story right. And obviously, Jim Heck, the creator, as well. Like they talk about deep dives. And so, we were on Spencer Haywood's podcast probably a month ago, and he was talking about how some players now will come up to him because they realize he was key to opening up the opportunity for high schoolers to go to the NBA, for people to go to the NBA early without having to go to college for 4 years. And so, I think, so it's actually true. Spencer Haywood is a very dear family friend. He's my cousin's godfather, and so
Oh, wow.
growing up,
Cool.
I knew who he was. I knew he was an amazing basketball player, etc. But like some of like the intricacies and nuances of his story I didn't really know. And so in doing the research for the project, like reading his memoir, like holy moly, like I feel like every single American needs to read his memoir. It's just such a wild and incredibly powerful story when you just think of his life and just from where he started to where he is now, and just his heart of service. I mean, the fact that he was serving as like the head of the NBA Retired Players Association and his care for other players, etc. Like I think of everything that he went through his rookie year, just the scrutiny he was under, from the league, etc. I feel like of all the stories that really have blown my mind, that one in particular really blew my mind. But yeah, I totally agree with you, and I feel like, and it's great because I feel like now there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I just finished the series. I wasn't watching it necessarily every Sunday, but I just finished it. And man, there's so much I didn't know, and I feel like that's definitely an accomplishment.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a must watch. But you brought up Spencer, and I think that's a great example. Okay, so the series has definitely been polarizing. We do know that certain people who have been characterized aren't exactly happy with the way they were characterized. I have not heard anything from Kareem, so that's good. But while there's been a lot of talk about saying, it's been sensationalized and that's not who I was, we'll say Jerry West. He's the one who said it. We'll just put it out there. Spencer was very honest to say, no, that was him. That is how, and this was very honest. So I thought that was incredible because they were very honest with how they portrayed him as well. And I believe Noble Wood did an amazing job with that. I mean, everyone just did an amazing job. I really got to say the casting, spectacular, absolutely spectacular. There was not one person in the wrong spot. That's it. That's what I can say personally. But so do you hear the hype, the Jerry West isn't happy and this and that? And if you do, how do you kind of view that? You just kind of it's not on you, kind of just let it go, or it's more buzz for the show?
I haven't been paying that much attention to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I mean I think what I do know is that the writers and the producers are huge fans of these individuals and really grateful for what this franchise has done for sports. And so, I know that it's coming from the hearts of people who just have an immense amount of admiration for these individuals. And again, and the benefit of a TV show is it's not just 60 minutes, right? You get time to tell the fuller stories about individuals, right? And so with season 2 coming up, that we get even more time to kind of really unpack some of what we know about these people. So yeah.
Well, what's interesting, because I mean we've kind of, I guess for at least a month and a half, we've kind of had different people come on. Like we've had Roy Firestone, who was there, there in during that time. And we just had
we had Ted Dawson on. We had one of the extras on, Anthony Henderson.
Anthony Henderson
worked on the show with you guys. We have others scheduled as well.
Yeah. So
Spencer Garrett, who did an amazing job.
Spencer is incredible. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah. So, but when I've looked at it, like if we've done our research on like all these things, and especially Roy Firestone said, he said, look, Jerry West, he was in the bathroom doing, because he couldn't go watch the games, and and
he was
in the car because he just couldn't handle stuff, and he would throw up and he would do this. And what's so special about it is Roy had not seen up until that time winning time, right? So he literally is telling us, things that he witnessed Jerry West doing, and he had not seen how Jerry West was portrayed. So I believe that it's more something. I'm just giving my opinion on it. It's more something that maybe he didn't want people to know versus versus them doing a bad job in what they showed. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. I'm not asking you to agree.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Because I want to see
I
the
have no
second
comment
season.
there.
Yeah, I want to see what second season.
I have another question for you. Okay, we really enjoyed the show. When you were filming this, there was a ton of green screen. When you saw this all put together,
oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, you must have just been floored. And then
Absolutely.
you can't say anything, right? You can't really tell anyone about how hard is that? That's gotta be
No, the first, we would get clips of stuff that they were going to actually put together and put out. And every time I got a glimpse, like I would text some of the other cast, like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that? That's so," especially the form stuff. When the form really comes together, I forget that we were filming it in front of green screen. I'm like, was there a full stadium?
You thought it was 17,505.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't imagine. That must have just been a great feeling. In fact, you probably forget that it's even you a little bit in there. You're just watching it. You get lost in the series itself yourself.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it's, there's just this was such a fun experience. I mean, incredibly challenging for sure. No doubt about it, but also like really, really fun and also really rewarding. And I mean, I credit it to, some people ask me like, what was like the culture on set? And it was people just bringing their A game every single day. And so visual effects, sound, etc. I mean, everybody was trying to knock it out of the park. And so when I watch it, it's fun to kind of just get lost and just the communal effort that was put forth to make this happen. So
that's amazing. And then season 2, as you said, you mentioned, is confirmed. We are moving on to season 2, and I'm assuming. Do you know much about it yet? Do you know when that starts shooting or anything?
Not exactly. No, not exactly.
Okay, but because everyone's going to be waiting, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Now, this being one of your first, big roles. Obviously, season 2 sounds like you're coming back. What else do you have in the works? What else you got?
Man, I'm just I feel like I just feel so blessed to have discovered this craft. Not necessarily discovered it, but they haven't gotten an opportunity to do this craft at the age of 42. I'm pinching myself every day. I love acting. I feel like I now understand why it's often used in therapy, right? Like improv and acting or theater are often used in therapy to help people, with whatever they have going on in their mind and their heart. I mean, it's a beautiful space. I mean, I think of. Right after I got the part, I went out to watch Wendell Pierce, who's a wonderful actor. He's been on HBO series The Wire. He's in Jack Ryan now. I watched him in he was in the play Death of a Salesman in London. I watched it 3 nights in a row, and I feel like it just reminded me of how moved I have been personally by film, TV, right, by the artistic expression of acting, and so I love the space, and I'm looking forward to more opportunities. So yeah.
So this is like when you're probably we go over again when your first real gigs that you have. So look, I know me. If they got me to go and say, "Hey, Mike, we're gonna have you start acting," the hardest thing for me would be to remember the lines. Like, how do you, So they give you the script, the book.
Yeah. Luckily, Kareem is a man of few words.
Yeah,
Luckily, but no.
Much.
Hey, but look, I'm just more like real with mine, man. If I would have saw like 200 pages of books,
you're like, oh, no.
and I got to memorize that. How long did it take to memorize all those lines, man?
Man, it's like anything else. Like just reps. You got to do over and over and over and over. Just like really. I mean, I feel like and some of the tactics, like so Wood Harris, who played Spencer Haywood, I feel like not only does he do an incredible job on the show, but I also feel like he was really generous. He was one of a number of the older actors, more seasoned actors who were really kind of talked about their prep, and he talked about. There's the method where you just kind of do it rote, where you just say it without any emotion, and then you kind of add a musical element to it. And so I really experimented with a lot of different things. But I will say, I always wanted to know, like I think I was most petrified of like one day not knowing my lines. And so that's something like I really, and granted, we get time too, right? I feel like we get a few days. So we have plenty of time to really prep, and really get them locked in. And then also I think, the beautiful thing about it is like the story kind of guides you along, right? And so the writing you guys mentioned, it's just so good. And so I feel like it's easy, and it's easy to get just lost in that moment. And when you're lost in that moment, or what some people say, riding the wave of the scene, then you're not worried about forgetting your lines, right? Your lines are just coming out of you. I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day. It's like when you've done it enough, you get comfortable enough, you're no longer devoting any of your like cognitive energy to the anxiousness, the anxiety about messing up. It's just about being in the moment. And so, yeah. So again, I guess in summary, just reps.
You stop thinking.
Yeah. I mean,
you stop thinking and you just start acting.
Yeah, because I remember a couple of years ago, I was at a Starbucks and this guy, he was just talking. I'm like, is this dude crazy? He's just talking to himself, like, but he's doing emotionals. He's going up and he's going down, and I'm like, man, like, what? And then we realized he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm practicing my lines. Like, oh,
that's right.
All right,
that's right.
I didn't know if I, ask him needs help or run. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so
over and over again.
Yeah. So because in the COVID era, we're wearing masks everywhere we go, right? And so because I'm wearing I had my mask, I'm like reciting my lines as I'm running, doing grocery runs, etc. I'm like all day long just talking to myself, but no one can see it because I got the mask on.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. Our co-host here for this week, he has a show that he does Monday Night Fredos that goes live every Monday night. On that show, he asks each one of his guests 10 questions. He'd like to go ahead and ask you those questions really quick, and then we're going to go ahead and let you go. So we'll summarize, and we'll sum up with this. Fredo Cervantes, go ahead, please.
Mr. Sullivan, so real quick, this is a Kobe Bryant quiz I love to do every single time. It's 8 questions in 24 seconds. I know usually gets rid of before 24 seconds, but hopefully you get a chance to do this, right? 8 simple questions. Let's go ahead and get it started. Either or, right? Pizza or burgers?
Oh, man. Wow. I'm going to say pizza.
Pizza. There it is. Instagram or Twitter?
I'm going to say Twitter.
All right. Well, Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Christmas.
All right. So I know you're from Los Angeles, so pick either or. Clippers or Lakers?
Very easy, get this right.
Lakers.
Hey, no pressure. All
right. So, we're going to go ahead and move to Halloween night. Jason or Michael Myers?
Man, I'm embarrassed. I don't think I've watched either of those, but I know what Jason looks like because Jason has the mask, right?
Yes.
Well, okay, Jason.
He's got the hockey mask, right?
My hockey mask. That's it. Right. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So tequila or vodka?
Tequila.
All right. Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Tough one. Take your time here.
So, man, I'm saying LeBron James, but there's lots of reasons for that. So I'm just gonna say LeBron James. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right. Last one here. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 characters out from your Winning Time TV show here. Magic Johnson or we got the Dr. Jerry Buss. I mean, those 2 characters were perfectly. They were just 2 favorites.
I got both. I can't. It's like asking like what my favorite child is. Like they both are so stellar. Yeah.
I get it because a lot of people love John C. Reilly. Of course, he did an amazing, terrific job as well. But Magic, everyone's like, that's Magic. He has a smile on his face every time. It was funny too because I was watching the episode when you asked his father during the show, like, why does your son always have a smile on his face? Like, why? And he was like, well, that's the way he was born. Once the doctor slapped him in his ass, he was like that. So I get it, man. Thank you, Solomon, for your time, man.
For sure. Yeah, thanks.
Awesome, Solomon. Well, thank you so much for joining our show. We really appreciate it. Definitely, look, we're outside LA, so definitely when you're back home in the Southern California area, we'd love to have you in studio. That's for sure. Cool. Everybody out there, be sure to follow Solomon at Solomon Young Hughes on Instagram. Is that the same Twitter as well? Or do you have a different Twitter?
I'm not on Twitter.
Oh, do you? Okay. So
I was trying to find them.
Exactly. There you go. Okay, perfect. So thank you so much, Solomon. Again, we so appreciate it. We cannot wait to see you in season 2. Trust me, we will be watching.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
And let me just say congratulations again. You did an amazing job. Again, we just can't wait to see you because we're perfect for the part.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Solomon.
All right,
Appreciate it so much.
man.
Bye-bye. Wow.
Wow.
So yeah, we knew he'd be
Amazing.
amazing.
Amazing
We knew
guy.
he'd break
Amazing
it down.
guy.
He'd be great. Yeah.
Yes.
Again, the work that went into studying Kareem. Now, of course, him having a PhD and being a doctor, he knows how to study. So that's an advantage right there. That's for sure. Because I was never a good studier. So I would have waited till the day of, and I would have said, cue cards, please.
No, I mean it's. I mean, when you get in a deal like that, because I do have a background in acting and in theater. I mean, I've done over 10 plays in my whole life, and every time I wasn't a studier myself either. And once someone told me, "Hey, you got to memorize 300 pages, 2-hour play," I'm just like, "Oh wow, I'm not gonna memorize that thing." But the more repetitions you do, the 8-hour rehearsals, 4 times a week for 3 months straight, that thing gets cemented in your head. So it's easier to do, I guess you can say, in film, because you can cut, edit, boom, boom. But when you're live performing, it's a whole different thing. But
we all know live.
Yeah, it's live like right now, you know. But it's a fun ride. It's a fun ride.
But you know what though, you have to imagine though, like because look, I don't like to read. Everybody knows that about me.
Wait, do you know how to read?
I know how to read. I just don't like
to read.
And if my mom is on here, she probably gonna be upset. Say, don't ever tell nobody you don't like to read. But this is probably something fun to do. You know what I mean? So if it was fun to do and you want to do it, it probably not as hard.
Especially growing up in LA for him, being a Laker fan, like
that's
you said.
Amazing. That's really amazing. They searched the whole world and they found him in their backyard.
Right.
That's so special.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, because when you go and you look at the experience, man, I remember, you know, right around that time too, man. I'm in 7, 8 years old, and I'm just, acting like magic, passing the ball to Kareem because you knew it. Then swing left, shoot right. Chick Hearn, that was embedded in you, so
that's all you
knew that's what he was going to do, and man, just to be able to be that person that you always heard about and watched and you admired is just amazing thing.
I mean, for someone like me, I wasn't, of course, around in that time in the 80s to watch that. Being able to sit back and relax and watch this TV show.
It's like a time machine.
It's crazy because, I've done my research. I've seen a lot of Kareem. I've seen a lot of the 80s Lakers, but just being able to see this series and seeing how it was. And I mean, the Jerry West situation, of course, I mean, it's funny to think about.
You've covered that on your show as well. So definitely catch out Monday Night Fredo because he's covered that as well.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So let's get to some current affairs. Let's go to some current news.
Boston.
I hear some chants. Golden State.
Yeah.
Golden
I hear it too.
Golden State. Golden State. Isn't that Lakers North? Isn't that going to call them Lakers North this year?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Lakers
also
North,
they their colors just so happen to coincide with the same colors as the Rams. Right. The same colors as I believe a soccer team that won, and we'll see what happens. So the colors are right.
Yeah,
you're like, what the hell does that mean? It means the colors are right.
Hey,
the colors.
Here's the thing.
The same colors as Ukraine.
Whatever.
True.
It's true.
Hey, whatever combination
it is true. That's it.
In order for the Warriors to be bent, because look, we're literally right now rooting for. I don't know about everybody else as a Laker fan. I'm not. I'm still a diehard Laker fan, but I'm rooting for the Warriors.
Oh yeah,
because I cannot, no way, shape, or form, root for the Celtics. I cannot have them win 18. So yes, Warriors are the way. I think they have the firepower to do it. So
wait. Are you just rooting for the Warriors because you are a Lakers fan, or you're rooting for the Warriors because you feel like they have the better chance of winning in the series?
I'm rooting for the Warriors because I'm a Laker fan. I'm rooting for the Warriors because I think they could beat them.
So both
of them.
Okay.
And you're hopeful.
And I'm hopeful.
And you're hopeful.
Right, yeah. Right. So I hate the Celtics. I know people your age, Fredo. Everybody.
Look. Everybody's huggy, lovey
everybody
these
love
days.
each other.
Yeah, we weren't like that. See, back in the day, there was some hate involved. And that lives on.
Like that first Converse commercial. I'm just letting you know they had to call Magic up and say, "Hey, we're gonna have Bird here at the same place." They had to call Bird up and say, "Hey, we're gonna have Magic in the same place." is this okay to do?
They didn't vacation in Banana Boat
Yeah.
together.
Right.
Look, no, I
Yeah.
get that part. I've had multiple people throughout this week tell me because I was kind of rooting on for the Celtics to win this whole week, and I was
what
like,
are you doing?
they were just like, well, aren't you a Laker fan? I was like, yeah,
Right.
I'm a Laker fan, but at the same time, I'm watching basketball. I'm looking at
No.
Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year,
Okay.
going against Stephen
Okay, hang
Curry.
on. So what you're telling me is you only root for the team you think's going to win.
I think because I'm watching right now.
No,
and
no, do you
I'm looking-
only root for the team that you think's going to win?
I'm rooting. If someone's
Or-
telling me who you're going to take, I'm looking at who's available right now. I'm looking at the Boston Celtics, who are the better team right now.
You
So,
think,
but
okay.
why do you think? Okay,
But who do you want to win?
I don't really care who wins this series. I don't care who
Okay.
does.
See,
I mean,
that's-
Boston
that's-
wins.
that's
It's great.
scary for Laker fans.
well, let me just say this.
It is what it is.
For
though.
the record, Fredo is not a Laker fan. Okay,
Hey,
because
But they call you a hater.
there is nobody that is a diehard.
I ain't hating.
I
They ain't
believe,
hating.
I bleed purple and gold. There's nobody that bleeds
Ever
purple and
roots for a
gold.
Celtic.
That
But look-
ever, listen, we don't see what you don't understand.
Can't
Real
happen.
real Lakers fans don't wear green on St. Patrick's Day. You understand what I'm saying? We don't wear green. You know,
I get
because
it.
we hate the color
we can
green.
hate on. Okay, if this was the Celtics and the Clippers, who would you root for?
I Clippers. I would. You know why I would do the Clippers?
Wow, really?
Because you know
I would have won Boston and win over the Clippers any
No,
given time.
no,
I don't
wait a
want
minute.
the
Hold on.
Clippers to win in
Hold
our
on.
backyard,
no. But here's the thing about that: if the Clippers,
especially Jerry West being with the Clippers right now.
I'd rather
No way
I'd
Jerry's
rather-
gonna get it.
Hell no, he ain't
Okay,
gonna
but
win right now.
here's my thing: I'd rather deal with a fan, so I can tell them y'all got 17 more before you.
No,
before
no,
you-
no.
You know what? You know
Then-
what? I'm actually gonna supersede that. I actually may be the one situation
That you pick Boston.
that I may pick Boston because Boston fans would say, well, we got another one. Clippers fans, and especially
Tear me
someone like
down.
a Clipper Daryl, he would it's just, they would think that they just were so cool and overruled the world so much that it would just, there could be violence.
Like
I'm just
one
saying. I might
one
get
means like
violent.
20 to them.
Yeah, yeah.
One means
It's like,
20.
dude, they win. Dude, they win a Pacific title and they raise a banner. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, imagine, dude, their banner that
But
they
see-
get would probably cover Crypto.com arena. It
Right.
wouldn't even be one size banner. It would be
They might put a
One banner to
statue of
cover
Clipper
all-
Daryl outside
oh,
next to
dude.
Kareem
can't
Abdul-Jabbar.
happen.
Well, you know,
They
and-
might do
see-
that.
Well, see,
No.
and we know that's
Do we
why.
want that? No.
Well, here's the thing, though.
and we can get it back on Boston.
Right,
Clippers,
right.
if they just win one, they'll think,
we won't be able to forget that
especially
night.
in
Well,
Crypto.com.
you-
Hell no.
Hell no.
But speaking of Clipper Dale, though, you know why Clipper Dale wants to Clippers to win? Because he was told that he would get to go to the Hall of Fame as a super fan.
Oh, well, that's
You know what I mean?
that'll be good for
Because
him.
you
That'll
know
be good.
the Toronto
Yeah.
when Toronto
Got
won,
their super fan in there.
they put their super fan in the Hall of Fame.
That'll be
and
big
so-
for Clipper Daryl.
yeah,
but
so
I
that'll be
don't.
big for
Sorry,
Clipper
Clipper
Daryl.
Daryl, but I don't think the Clippers are ever going to win a damn thing out here.
No.
Yeah.
But about
Period.
the Celtics and the Clippers and the Lakers overall, I mean, I get it. You know, Boston is hated out here in Los Angeles. No one wants to wear green, but they are the better team right now left.
Well,
in this
why do you
series.
say
I
they're the
don't know.
better
Yeah,
team?
why do they?
I mean,
look,
like-
okay,
like-
look, you got to look at, if you look at Stephen Curry, you got Klay Thompson, you got Draymond Green. That's the trio they got. I mean, anybody else around that, you can't really depend on Kayvon Looney.
Poole?
You can't. Jordan Poole has never been in the NBA Finals. He does not know what is going to take, the lights, the action that's going to take part of that. And I know Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and the Defensive Player of the Year in Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is going to make Curry someone else. Curry is not going to, I guarantee you, he's not going to average more than
Tatum's
24
been in the
points.
finals.
I have a question.
Well, he hasn't been in the finals,
Oh,
but
my
he's
bad.
been
I mean,
multiple years.
who-
Smart's
he-
been, has Smart
Yeah.
been in the
How
finals?
many
Smart, but
yeah.
they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals
but-
three
yeah,
times.
But isn't
They've been three times.
But
They've
he's,
been in the
he's okay. Unexperienced leading a team. Jordan Poole, unexperienced
being a
backing
second
role player of a
in a-
team, and you're worried he may not
in a
show
way,
up.
in a way, you can look at Jordan Poole being the second wheel of that team because you look at Curry, and besides that, who's going to be the second scoring wheel of that? A lot of people want to look at Jordan Poole, but Jordan Poole does not have a great night every single night. Klay Thompson's not going to
Wiggins
do what
is doing pretty well.
he's doing. Okay, he's
They've
doing
got
all right,
they've got a squad.
but they don't got no big man that's going to be able to defend Al Horford down there, and they don't have
How
a
many
defensive
Old
player.
Al Horford.
Okay, wait. How many? I'm just asking, so we're clear. How many Celtics have won a championship on the team?
On that team, if you want to really look at it deeply, none.
How many were
But-
alive the last time the
but-
Celtics?
Now,
won?
how many have been in the championship series?
None.
Okay,
But
okay, cool.
they've been in the hunt for
Okay.
4 to 5 years
Hey, I
already.
got you. I
Their
understand.
time is now.
Okay.
They've been fighting for this opportunity, and now they're finally there.
That's what Utah thought, but then
Yeah.
they ran into Chicago.
right.
Their
right.
time was now. It
they
never
did
happened.
run into Chicago, but that
Karl
was Michael
Malone and
Jordan.
John Stockton thought that their time was now.
But Curry and Thompson and Draymond are not going to have enough firepower, even though they're at home.
Oh, really?
They don't. They're not going to have
Interesting.
enough. I guarantee you that.
You guarantee?
I guarantee
Okay,
you,
so-
Boston,
So you're telling
Boston
me
will win this. I don't know
And-
how many. I'll say Boston in 6.
you're gonna?
It better be, otherwise they're coming back to Golden
Yeah.
State for 7, right?
Right. It's just the same way they did with Miami right
Okay,
now.
so what game? Oh, let's break this down. Who's winning game 1?
There's no way Boston's coming out and steaming in.
Who's winning
I
game
don't know. I don't know. They're all healthy right now.
Who's
It's gonna
winning
be up
game
in the
1?
fu- it's
And
gonna be up.
we heard Gary Payton's coming back. So
It's gonna be up.
And they're
It's gonna-
rested.
and they're rested.
Sometimes that might be
So who's
that
winning
might
game
go
1?
against you at times.
They're not
but,
rusty. They're rested.
Game
It
1.
hasn't
Who's
been
winning
that
game
long.
1?
I mean,
Game 1 and
you
Warriors.
might have to
Golden
give it to
State.
the Warriors because
Okay.
they're gonna win it.
All right, so it's 1-0.
But don't
Game
be
2.
surprised if Boston takes it. Don't be
No,
surprised.
no.
Okay, you
let's
do
make it
understand if they
game
don't
2.
take 1, they're not taking 2.
Game 2. Who's winning game 2? Because we're still at Golden State.
If Golden State takes game 1, Boston will take game 2.
Oh, so
okay,
you-
they did it in
so-
Miami.
okay,
They
so
did
you're
it
I
saying
in
will,
that
Miami.
I will give you just simply this, that you're saying that Boston's going to leave with a split. I don't care if it's 1 or 2. You're
Right,
saying
right.
Boston will leave with a split.
Yeah, there's no way.
What if it's 2-0?
What was that?
What if it's 2-0?
If it's 2-0, then it's going to make it very tough for them. But it depends on
Oh,
how.
but you still
But
believe.
it
They gotta
depends.
win
It
4 out of
depends.
5.
It depends on the score. It depends if it's a 102, 101 type of game, or is it a 119 or 99
So,
type of
so
game.
tell me, Fredo, why do you hate Golden State?
I don't hate Golden State. I feel that I'm looking at 2 teams, and all I'm seeing is okay. The best player on this team is Stephen Curry, without a doubt. He's the best player.
Yeah.
You got Marcus Smart. You got the defensive player.
So
of the
is
year.
Okay,
Marcus
but
Smart-
can
wait,
he
wait.
can he
Marcus
stop
Smart-
Steph Curry?
I believe so, and he will.
Explain that to me. How's he going to do that?
I mean, you look at what he did to Kevin Durant in the first series. He swept Brooklyn Nets. They swept the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay, but that's
Then
different.
hold on, stop there. Then you go and you beat the defending champs and Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. You look at what they did.
Okay.
Then they go on and beat Game 7 in Miami. So you see what Boston has done in this route. You see what Golden State has done.
I'm gonna tell you that's why it's not fair. Who was hurt in Milwaukee?
Who was what?
Who was hurt in Milwaukee?
Chris Middleton.
Okay, that's a major part. And then with Game 7, right? So if Chris Middleton is healthy, who's winning that series?
We don't know, but we assume.
Who knows? But what about the first series where they swept them? Both teams were healthy
Okay,
against
but
the
see-
Brooklyn Nets, who
but
were the
see-
clearly favorites to win it all.
But the Nets are different though, right?
That's just because they had the star power, but
yeah.
they didn't go
the
deep
Net-
at
the
all.
Nets-
They had
But
no
Boston
bench.
was good enough to sweep them. And in order to beat Giannis, in order to beat Jimmy Butler and these guys out
Look,
there.
there's no
Yeah, but
doubt
okay,
they're,
cool,
they're
but I
a
got
quality team, but they are coming up against a threesome that is championship pedigree.
Right. And that's the only thing that scares me. But that means that Clay got to hit 25 to 30 per game because
he
then
capable?
he
He's
scored.
well rested.
Is he capable?
He's well rested.
No,
This
I'm
isn't-
just asking. Is he capable?
He was capable of doing it in game 6 the other day, but he wasn't capable of doing that between game 1 and game 5. He wasn't able to do that. He's out of nowhere showed up in
Okay.
game 6.
Okay. Cool. So what's more important, Game 1, Game 5, or Game 6?
I mean, if you look at it that way, yeah, you look at it game 6.
I'm just
But
asking.
between game 1 and
Okay.
game 5,
All right. Cool.
I mean, I hope you win at least
so-
2 out of those 5.
So,
Because if
so
you don't,
what we're doing is we're talking about a player that shows up and has the 3-point shooting record in the game. Doing,
I'm telling you,
and-
Marcus
and this is
Smart.
okay, well, who's he guarding? Is he guarding Curry or
But then you got
Clay?
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, 2 other great guys.
Hey, guess what, guys? Lakers hired a coach.
When they did. Let's talk
Lakers
about
hired
that.
a
'Cause I ain't
coach.
happy
All
about
right,
that.
because we don't know what's going to happen
Yeah.
in these finals. What we do know is it's going to be fun watching Boston versus Golden State. That's going to be incredible. So we can't wait. And as usual, the NBA is hot, on fire, and always rolling. However, let's get to our Lakers talk really quick, guys. I'm going to keep the show on track. The Lakers found a coach. The Lakers hired Darvin Ham of the Milwaukee, you spoke about the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks that just got beat by the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, and the great team out there.
You know, but let's start with you, Fredo, as a guest. How do you feel about this hire for the Lakers?
So honestly, it took me some time to really analyze and kind of take in who we just signed as a coach for 4 years. It's not 2, not 3, but 4 years. We're not going to win a championship. We're not. LeBron, and I told you, Money Mike, right before this, I said that the window that LeBron had to in order to win another championship here in LA, it's just closed. Darvin Ham is not going to help this team win a championship. Plain and simple. He's not. I don't think, even though he's too young, I don't feel like we had to go that route to get a young coach who does not have that experience to coach this type of team. LeBron, Westbrook, whether we keep him on the roster or not, AD, Carmelo, and whatnot. I don't think he does. I mean, he might surprise us, but otherwise, I would have been happy with Frank Vogel at this point. I'm with Vogel instead of
Money.
Well, I definitely think Darvin Ham is a better coach than Frank Vogel. Just like we know Jason Kidd is a better coach than Frank Vogel, right?
We should have kept Jason Kidd.
Yeah, right.
We should have.
But my point is, you know, when Jason Kidd was there, that's when we won the championship.
Right.
Jason Kidd left, and then now we got stuck with Vogel. Darvin Ham, I think definitely is a good pickup. He's young. He's relatable. He was in the league. The problem is, though, I agree with you that we can't win with the way this team is constructed right now, and you know because we still have the same problem. We have only way a Russell Westbrook could be effective. He has to handle and control the ball. We have LeBron, and LeBron's not going to give that up.
Now, Mike, the rumors are that one of the things that the biggest question that the Lakers had in their coaching search was how would you play Russell Westbrook on this team? Because they don't foresee getting rid of him unless some crazy deal comes up. So Ham must have said something that they said, okay, or the other coaches said nothing, and he at least spoke up. We don't know what that is. The bigger question here, and I'd really like to get this out of Money Mike if I could, because later in the season we know where he's going to go. Money, do you feel that this was a decision led by Clutch and or LeBron James at this point? Do you or do you not feel, because you know the pressure, if it doesn't work or whatever, it's going to come down on LeBron? Was he involved? Do you believe he had anything, and if so, to what degree?
I believe that he was 100% involved in this, but I believe that he sees now that he has to act like he wasn't. And I think he did a good job in acting like he wasn't, because his tweet, which
he was one of the first ones to tweet about
it. Right. Well, he actually did a confirmation tweet, right? Because it was rumored that they was getting him. And he was one, oh my God, Darvin Ham, that's great. So to me, that lets me know that he knew that, you know, it was a done deal before everybody else
before
did.
It went public.
And he confirmed it. But the way the tweet was put out there was like he was finding out like everybody else, because he now knows that we don't take all, you know, you can't just go and navigate and move and act like you're part of it and then run away, because he got whole lot of heat. You know, when they were saying, because we remember, you know, keep that same energy where, you know, you say we're old. And in the season, you said this, he got some heat. He got more heat than he thought he would have, because they pulled up that old tweet and then he kind of ran. So I think he definitely is orchestrating, being a little bit more strategic, but that's why I don't like it. That's the very reason why I don't like it, because he still is so much involved in the coaching part of it, and he needs to be more concerned about he playing his role and just being a player versus controlling who he's getting coached by.
Fredo, are you buying that? Are you buying it? That because he Money Mike is walking a thin line, if I may say. He on one side of the line, he's saying, oh well, LeBron definitely knew. But he didn't say that it was LeBron's choice or LeBron wanted him. He's just saying, well, of course LeBron knew before it went public. Yes, of course. But what did LeBron say? Out of my choices, this is my guy, and this is who I want, and they went with it because of that. Do you believe that or no?
I don't think so. I think that Jeannie, Kurt, and everybody else up there kind of laid it down like, hey, these are our 3 options. These are who we got. And I'm pretty sure maybe LeBron picked Terry Stotts, which I thought he was going to be the guy. I thought that he had more of a respect factor with the players, and maybe Damian Lillard, who could have become available any minute now. He maybe could have been the guy that, hey, because Damian Lillard said it a few years ago. He's like, yeah, I love Terry. Terry's a great coach. So he's on his good side. So at the end of the day, we always got to look at any possible way to recruit for the near future. But I think LeBron really didn't have much to say. He really, maybe Pelinka just came to him, hey, LeBron, this is who we got. You're going to have to go with them. Live with it or not. And because the Lakers know that LeBron has not signed another contract. So I don't think they would talk to LeBron and be like, hey, LeBron, who do you want? I think they came to LeBron and be like, hey, this is your coach. Deal with it. Or maybe don't sign a contract and move on. Because I know Mike maybe wants him to move on.
Oh, well, first of all, I definitely want LeBron to move on. Number 2 is I don't think by no step of the imagination that they said, hey, Darvin Ham's your coach, and if you don't like it, deal with it. That completely did not happen.
Maybe not. Maybe so.
Maybe not.
Knows?
Maybe so.
I don't think he had
what world?
Well, because if LeBron really said, hey, give me Darvin Ham, I don't think LeBron knows or if he even really wants to win another championship, because how is Darvin Ham going to win him a championship?
Frank Vogel won him one.
He did, but Vogel at least had the experience of being a head coach, being in the Eastern Conference Finals, and doing those things
He was
with
there on the
stars.
sideline.
I think
Jason Kidd's coaching history before he came back to the Lakers wasn't exactly beautiful.
True.
Okay, so his second run coming back with the Lakers as an assistant and then going to Dallas has looked better. But
Ham does.
He's got time. Next year he could blow it too, and everyone's going, "Oh shoot, Jason Kidd."
I seriously believe
everyone loved Vogel in the bubble,
right? As I did too.
And then everyone gave Vogel the benefit of the doubt the next year when Pelinka blew up the friggin' team for whatever reason, and then we had injuries. Everyone said, okay. And then it was the third year when finally you said, okay, this guy can't do it.
I just didn't like the fact that Vogel right immediately during training camp told Russell Westbrook, you're not going to control the ball, so don't even bother. And that's what kind of ticked everything off from the very beginning of the season. And that's what ruined it. And I feel that Vogel could have done a much better job with Westbrook.
Well, that's something that Ham will probably do better with, is dealing with players' egos. And,
they got someone younger. That might be a good thing. That's the only thing that I love, that he's a young coach, and especially someone like LeBron said, now they got someone that they can relate to and, down on the court. So hopefully it's a good thing, but I honestly don't think they're going to win an NBA championship. I don't. Not in the LeBron era.
Well, everyone's getting better. Like you said, Boston is rising. It's taking them some time. Miami looks good.
Memphis is going to be crazy.
Memphis looks to the West. Yeah, Memphis. Even Minnesota is getting a little bit better there. Patrick Beverly.
And D'Angelo Russell too, man. We love that kid.
But it'll be interesting to see, but I don't think too many Laker fans are hopeful with this team as built. But if we could get a healthy AD for a season, which would be amazing.
Well, that's a big if.
That's more difficult than actually getting a good coach. If you just knew that you were going to get a healthy AD, then you're pretty good. But unfortunately, that's even more difficult to do than anything else. Okay, guys. So what we have here is we have the Celtics going to the finals, which just burns Lakers fans. We have Fredo, who believes the Celtics are the better team.
So I'm gonna cut you off right here.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna cut you off right here. We're live. Show's almost over.
Yep.
I've already I'm 1-0 against bets.
Here we go.
So right now
you are. That was a lucky one.
Right. Okay. I was lucky, however you want to say it. I think I know
he's $100 richer than I am.
Yeah, he is.
I think I can predict. My predictions are, I'm 100% of my predictions against you. So I'm gonna make another prediction.
So far, 1-0.
Yeah, so far 1-0, 100%. That's easy math.
I'm gonna say, well, listen, Patrick Beverly beat LeBron 2-0, right? So
shit.
But I'm doing it again to prove that it's not a fluke.
Okay.
Right now, I'm gonna bet you $100.
Okay.
That the Warriors are gonna win. They're gonna. Hey, I think it's gonna go. I'm trying to see
how many games is it going?
You know what? I'm going to say no more than 6. If it goes game 7, I lose. If the Warriors win, it goes to game 7, I lose.
Okay.
My prediction is 5 games.
Okay, so let me get
5 games.
So
wait. Let me get
What
this straight.
I'm
He's
saying
saying
is,
that Golden State wins in 6.
at least
If
6.
it goes to 7,
I lose.
he loses regardless of who wins.
But my prediction is 5.
So picky is 5 or 6.
No.
You're saying
What I'm
5.
saying is,
His prediction is 5, but he doesn't trust his prediction enough.
So
he's
go
putting
with your
his money
prediction.
at
Go with
6.
5. Go with 5.
No, listen.
You got to go with 5.
No.
At this point, you got to go with 5.
He
Give me
might
a little
pay
bit of
you in the
wiggle room.
first 2 games.
Yeah, right.
No.
Give me a little bit of wiggle room here.
No,
'cause
I'm giving.
Boston will.
I'm saying Warriors in 6. I'm saying Warriors in
Okay.
6.
But you're saying
But-
Warriors in 5.
But I
He
believe.
always
I
writes a
know.
lot,
I know.
right?
My prediction is Warriors in 6.
All right.
I believe they can do it in 5. I'm telling you.
So
if they-
what do you really believe?
I'm telling you, if it goes 7, I lose.
All
Okay.
right.
So it doesn't matter.
How about let's make it?
So what I'm saying is, this is basically what I'm saying.
Warriors.
If the Warriors
no more
win
than
the
6.
championship in 7 games, I still
lose. Right. How about let's make it this way. Feel confident about your belief and make it in 5. So if they go 6 or
I can't
7,
do 5.
you lose. Let's go. Do it in 5.
I can't do 5.
Okay.
Do you really believe on the Warriors?
What is it? Is it 5 or 6?
I would say Warriors in
Shake.
6.
Shake on
I'm
it.
saying Warriors in 6, $100.
How about 5.5?
Oh, we've got a bet?
Come on,
I'm saying
Money
Warriors
Mike.
in 6.
We got
Meet me
a
at
bet?
5, Money.
Let's
meet me
bet.
at
I'm not doing
Hey,
5.
you're already up 1-0 on me. Why not feel confident?
Man, listen.
Come on.
I'm already giving you, if it goes 7, I lose.
Right, but
I mean,
feel confident about your pick,
I'm
Money Mike.
confident about my pick.
All right, you guys got like 10 seconds here.
All right.
What is it?
I'm confident in my
You know
pick.
what? I'll
Warriors in
take you
6.
just because I know the Boston Celtics will still win, and you might be a little salty about that afterwards.
Oh, I'm gonna
Excellent.
be real salty.
So we
There
have
you
a
will.
bet. Okay, the
There
bet
it
is
It's on the record.
$100. Money Mike bets that the Golden State Warriors will win in less than 6. If it goes to game 7, it doesn't matter who wins. Money Mike loses. If Boston wins in 4, 5, 6, or 7, Fredo wins his $100 back.
Boston in 6.
I'm still
All right.
giving you the advantage.
Boston in
All
6.
right,
I'm
there it
still
is.
giving
Oh
you
yeah,
advantage.
you got he has the house advantage.
Boston in 6.
Yeah, deal.
Say Boston in 6.
All right,
Boston
everybody.
If Warriors
So,
go in 5, you give me
I
All
that.
right.
won't be surprised.
everybody,
if
you
they
gonna
beat
give me
them.
150? You gonna give me 150?
You know
Warriors
that.
go in 5?
Your Money Mike.
Hey.
You know we finish every show with a segment we call Money Mike's Out of
I
Bounds.
already know where this is going.
Money Mike is going to go ahead and share his thoughts or opinion on a topic, and it's simple. He just wants to know, is he in bounds or out of bounds?
Well, look,
Money
Always
Mike.
out of bounds.
You've got the
yeah,
mic.
you know what? I already know I'm out of bounds with you, Fredo, because you're not a diehard Laker fan.
So
So,
I
so you're
am,
not
but
gonna
I
understand.
just see that who's
So-
the better team right now.
Here we go.
So look, so we all know we all love Jason Tatum. The only thing I hate about Jason Tatum is that he wears a green and white uniform to play basketball in. He came out with Kobe elbow band. Right now, I think that is great that he did that. I respect him for doing that. But if a Laker would have came out in a Celtic armband, I am tearing him up. Because there's no reason in the world for any reason, any case, I don't care, that is not allowed. So am I out of bounds to say that there is no reason why a Laker player could come out with a Celtic armband? I'm out of bounds for saying that.
I mean, yes, you are out of bounds because you're looking at Jason Tatum, someone who trained with Kobe, someone who loved
Don't care.
Kobe, and
I appreciate it.
the
for me.
tragedy that happened with Kobe. Why not? I mean, when Kobe went to Boston in his last year, I mean, he had a standing ovation from the whole garden in there. I mean, Boston at the end of the day still has a little bit of love and not just hate, because I know you love to hate on certain people, Money Mike, but they loved Kobe. And if I see maybe LeBron wearing a Larry Bird, because Larry Bird, let's say that he doesn't pass away, but let's say Larry Bird passes away, I wouldn't mind LeBron James wearing a 33 patch with a little bit of green on him. I mean, it's just respect for the game in that case right there.
You're in bounds.
Thank you.
There is no way.
No.
Thank
Look. There
Thank
is a time and a space for everything. All right. If I was a diehard Celtic fan that lived through the years and have been suffering through the lean years with one championship from our Paul Pierce group, I'm telling you right now, I love Kobe. You're right. He gets his dues. He gets his roses. Not on my game day. Not when my Celtics are playing. If I'm a Celtic fan, I'm just saying, look, you want to show Kobe the love? Show it in your game. don't wear purple and gold on my squad. That's what I'd be saying if I'm a Celtic fan. And if I'm a Laker fan, I don't care. Bill Russell, all of that good stuff.
Look,
You can wear the black armband to respect someone who passed away. You can do all that. You're not wearing the other teams, the arch
I mean, you can wear the Kobe
colors.
shoes, maybe.
You can wear Kobe shoes.
Yeah,
You
but you can't wear
all
you can't,
sorts
you
of
can't
All
wear-
right. Now I really see where you guys are coming from. How you guys just don't want Boston to win. I know,
No,
Jeff, you're probably be
look,
rooting for
Look,
a
I'm
Golden
gonna tell
State
you,
in the series.
I'm
I
gonna tell
am
you
rooting
right
for
now.
Golden State. I have to.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I did not admit Larry Bird was good until he retired.
Wow.
Until he could no longer hurt you.
Until he was retired.
Wow.
Well, as soon as the day he retired, I was like, oh, he was a bad man.
And that is our guy, Money Mike. Thank you guys for joining us so much. Fredo, thank you for joining
No
us and
problem,
co-hosting. Dr. Solomon Hughes.
Amazing.
Mr. Solomon Hughes.
Amazing.
Amazing actor, amazing portrayal of Kareem. If you missed any of it, go back, rewind it, replay it. You have to listen to it. Download the audio podcast on all podcast platforms this Tuesday. Absolutely amazing interview. We were honored to have him with us, and we hope when he makes it back into town, Southern California, his hometown, he'll come join us in studio. Of course, we'll let you know. We do have a big announcement coming up, another live event, you guys.
Man,
we will be putting the details out very, very soon. That is looking like it's going to be June 12th in Pasadena, California. So definitely mark your calendar, save the date. We will have information. Follow our Instagram, both Infinity Studios and the Profanity Nation Instagram for more information. You're going to want to keep up to date on this one. That I promise. We'll have more details about it on next week's show. We want to thank Marco Nunez as well for joining us. Thank everyone on Solomon Hughes' team who made it possible. Thank our producer, Dwan. And we want to thank our cameraman who's on leave, Theo. Thank you very much, Theo. We're always looking for you.
Theo.
To everybody else, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Clubhouse. And we'll be back next week. We're out.
We out.
Peace. Dude.